This is awful.
What? It's some of my best work.
It'll have to do.
That's not regulation. I kind of like it.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another X-Wing Miniatures repainting video. And as you probably have already determined, this is going to focus on Sabine's TIE Fighter from Rebels. This actually won't end up being a very long video because, as it turns out, I didn't end up shooting a lot of video. It's a very complex paint job, and trying to focus on recording video while also trying to focus on actually painting this thing turned out not to be the easiest thing in the world. And in fact, this is all recorded with my cell phone, which actually does better video than I ever expected it to, so it's not too bad. Not that bad. Anyway, let's just get right to it. One of the nice things about doing this repaint, if all you had to go on was the screen grabs from the show, it might be pretty challenging. But as it turns out, there is really good reference that you're looking at right now that is available on the web that shows the various views of the artwork on this TIE Fighter. But I would recommend that in addition to this that you grab some of those screen grabs as well, because it really helps to see it from as many perspectives as possible. Probably the most useful reference is the side panels, because they're mirrored. It only shows one side panel, and at first you might go, well, what about the other one? Well, the other one is identical. It's just a mirror image. So I actually ended up printing this out. Actually, I sent it into Photoshop. Let me back up just a second. My original idea for this was to speed up the process by creating a decal, or a series of decals for the side panels and maybe the top hatch and possibly the checkerboard pattern. I assumed that the decals for the side panels would end up working really well because those panels are so flat, that there was a reasonable chance that the top hatch decal might also work, because there's a lot more detail going on up there, and I thought there was a pretty low chance that the checkerboard pattern would fit on, I'm not even sure what you call those, the supports coming off of the main hull, because those do not look anything like the way they do in the Rebels TIE Fighter, which is very smooth. And as it turned out, I was pretty much correct on everything except for the fact that I could make decals. So, as it turned out, I have a color laser printer, and I was just planning on, I bought some color laser decals, but it does not like the thickness of them, so I ended up not being able to do that at all, which was very disappointing. But that's okay. I ended up just going ahead and using the artwork that I created as reference. And it's really, really nice to be able to just completely line up the model onto the sheet that I had created for the decals. And I could just, I could see exactly where things were supposed to be placed. So with that in mind, I went ahead and started on those side panels. I have seen some people remove the panels in order to paint them, and I can see where that might be helpful. But so what I ended up doing was using masking tape to start out getting a nice clear line for. Actually, really, more as a guide. So because I wasn't going to be spray painting these, I was just going to be hand painting them. But I did want the initial lines to be nice and smooth and parallel. Even though, when you look really closely at the lines on the panels, they aren't all parallel, which is neat because it really gives you this sense that Sabine had used like a roller to go over them. And she wasn't trying to make everything symmetrical. And I don't know, I just, the more I did this, the more I appreciated what went into designing this in the first place. So the first couple of lines that I did were masked off so that I could get a nice clean line. And then once I was confident that I could continue creating relatively parallel lines as I moved down, I stopped using the mask. So in this case, my first color was from the Watercolors line. That is Orange 3, which is a nice light orange. And keep in mind the color ranges vary depending on what you look at. So while the color on this sheet is much different from the way it looks on the screen, which looks different from various screenshots. So you kind of just have to take a best guess and go with it. So here you can see that I'm actually trying to focus on one or two of the panels at a time and making sure that the straight lines go across nicely, that the color is smooth as I put it down. And again, since I'm able to, place the panels right on that sheet, it makes it easy to really get a sense of what's going on. You might also see that I have areas in orange right now that are eventually going to be black. And that's fine because the black covers up just fine. Actually, I used a dark gray, not just black. I suppose it's also worth noting right now that I did start by spray painting the whole thing in Watercolor Yellow 3, I believe. It's a nice, not too golden, not too bright yellow. So I don't know about you, but when I look at the artwork, I'm seeing yellow on orange. But that is not the way that you want to paint it, because obviously with yellows and oranges, you want to work light to dark, which is why I started with the yellow and then painted in the orange afterward to define all the lines. And those panels are pretty well defined at this point. The only thing left really is going to be to bring the kind of ribbing back out, because the color doesn't completely cover everything. It goes up part way, and in fact only the dark orange and some of the yellow covers everything. So then I'm going to go over it with some Lighthouse Surface Primer gray. It's a very light gray. It's what you would imagine the TIE Fighter might be painted with were there no weathering, because it's very bright. It's almost white. But once you get some wash on there, then it brings it back down. But also, because it's so bright, you can easily put the orange and yellow back over it. And this is those same ribs once I've got some wash that I've made using Vallejo black and some airbrush medium. It's a good wash mix. I usually do 1 part paint to 2 parts medium. So here I've started to define the colors on the main hull. One thing to note, and you may not notice it right away, but the lower portion of the hull, the yellow is a more golden color than the upper portion of the hull. And I didn't even notice that right away. I think I didn't notice that until partway through the process here. So I did a wash, a very light wash of orange over the yellow to give it that more golden color. And this is really, at this point, is the hardest part of this process. Just doing those straight lines is a pain, but getting those designs over the curved surface of the hull is really tedious. This is probably one of the hardest kind of freehand paint jobs I've ever done. And there's a lot of going back and forth between the artwork and the ship and painting and then fixing and cleaning up. And, if you get your lines wrong, you can just go back with a little white to clean it up. And then you come back and try it again and just keep going at it. The thing to remember, though, is that at the size that thing is, I mean, you're looking at it super close up, especially if you use a magnifier like I do. And you see every mistake and everything that isn't perfect. But once it's all done and you're just looking at it in the bare light of day without a magnifier, it's going to look a lot better. So, don't sweat it too much. And here we are with the model pretty much done. And I think at this point I go back and do a couple more touch-ups. But you can also see the checkerboard, which is fairly successful. It scaled right. I'm actually pretty happy with how that turned out. You can also see a decal. It was a different decal that I actually had that I attempted to use. The checkerboard pattern was really too large, but I wanted to experiment with it anyway, just to see what that might be like, and it was just not going to work at all. So I'm glad, in a sense, I'm glad that I didn't bother with creating new decals, but man, trying to paint that checkerboard, big, huge pain in the butt, but it worked. So at this point, you can see the final images of the TIE Fighter. Again, I really like how this turned out. It's cool, it's interesting, and it's different. So thank you all for watching. I know this has been kind of a shorter video, but you know, it's just one of those things. So that's going to be it for now. If you like the video, please like this video. And if you want to see more videos in the future, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Hey, and if you're feeling really frisky, then you could run over to Patreon and think about donating $1 or $2. But that's going to do it for now, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks a lot. Bye.